Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is like really awkward to film because I didn't plan accordingly for this. I just wanted to go to a park and film like a get to know me, like an introduction to myself. So basically I have been on and off on YouTube, and this time around I decided I want to fully commit, and I honestly do feel like I'm gonna be able to commit. So I decided not to do too much on this video and just simply come and record it. I'm not gonna be editing a lot, so I'm hoping that the sound is really good and you can hear me clearly, because if not, I'm screwed. I'm also noticing that I'm a little bit short, and I don't know if I can. Ooh. Oh, there it is. Okay, now it's okay. This is the best that I can do, honestly. But anyway, I didn't plan much, which explains this, and I'm just gonna speak through the video and see how it goes, basically. So this is the introduction video, so the first thing I have to do is actually introduce myself, which I've never done. So my name is Thando. My full name is Nothando Ncube. I'm South African and 27 years old, and I'm currently based in America, the US. I left South Africa like 6 years ago now. Yeah, like 6 years ago. So it's been a minute. I was like 22 turning 23, and now I'm 27 turning 28 next month, September, Virgo, yay. And so yeah, that has been the journey of my life till here, I guess. So I have a list of like things I want to talk about. They're all written down. It's like a little mind map that I have. So number 2 is like my values. My values basically, which really just describes me, the person that I am. So I think more than anything, I value like freedom and health, which I honestly do think it still like falls under freedom. Because when I say freedom, I mean like financial freedom, and I mean like actual freedom to do whatever I want, and also like with time as well. Freedom to do whatever I want to do with my time, freedom to spend money however I want, freedom to go wherever I want. And that has really influenced how I've lived my life and the decisions that I've made, I think. And I find that when I go against that, it really does spew a lot of like unhappiness and anger and resentment within me, because I know that like this is going against the person that I am, like to my core. And the second thing that I value is my health. I think I am a firm believer in the phrase that health is wealth. And so I do try my best to get enough exercise. That's crazy. I try to like get enough exercise. I try to, eat right, and, make sure I get bowel movements every day. Drink enough water, have a right amount of fat in my body, have muscle mass. Like, I'm really just obsessive over this. I'm not really obsessive, but I do take a great interest in it. I do enjoy reading like journals on like new discoveries on like I don't know, like health and sickness and whatever. I love watching videos or like interviews on like health trends, and watching videos on like experts. They're talking about, experts of the heart, what foods can you avoid to avoid heart issues, and how do you know that your heart is like at a good age, because like there's like a metabolic, I think, age for your body. And I love reading about that, and I try my best to make sure that my body at least is at its age, I think. But not like, when they like people like smokers and people who don't eat right, and people who don't really exercise and have like a very what is it, sedative sedative lifestyle will tend to have like an older biological age. So I try to avoid many of those things. Yeah, and that's who I am. And then another value that I find that I'm starting to have, or like something I'm starting to value, is community and friendships. I'm not saying that I'm getting this right like right away, because I know I'm not the greatest friend. I also just disappear like for days on end. Like I do tend to isolate a lot. So that's not the makings of the greatest friend. So yeah, but it is something that I do see a lot of value in now. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so moving on to the next thing. What did I write? Oh, my interests. Okay, so I honestly am a music person. I'm a music all the time person. I love music. I'm always listening to music. If I'm not listening to music, I'm singing something. If I'm not singing, I'm humming. But I do enjoy a lot of music. I think the only time when I don't listen to music is when I'm really like overwhelmed and I just need everything to quiet down and I can reset factory. But yeah, I listen to a lot of music and I am a person who's like pretty welcome to a lot of music. I'm not really picky about it, so generally it'll be like pop, R&B, pop, R&B, and then it's like a little bit of all the other genres where it's like jazz, classical music, K-pop. I also do enjoy Chinese R&B as well, which is, it's not very popular as like K-pop, but I think it's definitely coming to the scene, as I've noticed a lot of like Japanese and Chinese rap is starting to get popular. So yeah, I do enjoy Chinese R&B. And then I'm South African, so obviously like house music, I'm a piano. I do listen to that as well. A little bit of Afro beats, not too much. Like it's not, I don't know, I feel like they overwhelm me, so not too much. And yeah, that's all the music that I listen to. And then sometimes I do read when I'm not stressed out with school, which is actually right now because I actually withdrew from like my program that I was doing, and I'm thinking I might be taking a break or just taking 2 or 3 classes, just doing something super chill. But yeah, and then I'm also reading a book. I actually started it over my vacation. Anyway, sorry, got a message. But I started reading a book by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's Nigerian and she's my favorite author. Really, I love the way that she writes. It sounds like she's talking to her best friend, or like, you know, your cool aunt is telling you a story. I love reading her work. I can like almost hear her voice whenever I'm reading what she's writing. It's very cool, so I'm enjoying that. And the book is called Dream Count, and I'm still like in the like 100 pages, so I'm still in like the very early or the beginning part of the story, I guess. What else? Well, I don't know if I should say this, but watching the K-dramas, C-dramas, sometimes Japanese dramas. I'll also watch anime. Sometimes I'm very picky with anime. Like I'm very particular with anime. And then I will read a few mangas as well. I think the only reason I read some of the mangas was because I had watched Weak Hero, which is like a popular K-drama about like school bullying and stuff. But it's not only about that, also it's about like friendships and, you know, self-acceptance and forgiveness. It's actually very good. And after watching the show, I kept on rewatching it and I couldn't get enough. And then I realized like I'm gonna be sick of it if I don't stop. So then I then went to find the webtoon or the manga on like one of the sites. I don't remember which site. What the hell? Okay, Anyway, I don't remember which site, but I did find it and I read the whole thing, and it was so good. I don't know. I feel like it was on par with the show. It was really interesting. It was really interesting. Honestly, I think, though I do not want to admit this, I do identify a lot with like the main character. I mean, I don't go around fighting people and stabbing them, but there is a loneliness that this character has that I see really well, and I know very well. And so that's why I really enjoyed that. And I love how he got out of his shell and he made friends, and when he received love, he welcomed it a lot. And that was beautiful to watch. It was a good show. But anyway, what else? What other hobbies? I've been trying to learn Korean for a while now, but it has not been going very well. I'm still like super bad. I feel like I know the general like K-drama, like 안녕하세요, 사랑해, like 오빠, that, well, actually I'm lying. I do know like how to construct a sentence, but I do think it's because I haven't had any practice, and I don't have anyone to practice with. That has left me like stunned and stunted, that I find it hard for me to progress with the language. So if anyone is watching and they have any tips on that, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so I think I'm done with my hobbies and all that. Next thing would be, oh yeah, this is a category I came up with out of nowhere, but like, who are my favorite celebrities or like influencers? And I'm really excited to talk about this because I have one influencer that I really love, and her name is like Clark. I don't know if Peoples is actually her last name, but it's like Clark Peoples. She just, I don't even know what I would say. She just a little bit of fashion content, a little bit of dating content, and then it's also like educational, it's also like politics. She's super cool. She is super cool. She's younger than me, and like I always watch her videos for inspiration because I'm just like, she's such a phenomenal person. Like, she's so smart and she works so hard, and she has used that to build up her confidence, and I think that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful, you know. So she really inspires me, and that's why I love her. And she's very sure of herself, which is confidence. So anyway, and then another celebrity that I truly appreciate, well, she's not a celebrity, she's also another influencer, but her name is like Anna Howard. She does like YouTube videos. She has a YouTube channel that I follow, and I think it's called Wild Geese. I wrote that down because I'm very forgetful, but her YouTube channel is called Wild Geese, or she calls her audience Wild Geese. I'm not too sure, but I really love her channel. She's like really soft-spoken, and she talks about these really interesting topics, very almost artistic, creative, like topics. I don't know, but like she's super cool. I think the last topic she spoke of was like having autonomy over your life or something like that, or like choosing your own path and having autonomy over your life. And that was really beautiful because I think I am in a time of my life where there's a lot of change, and I feel like I have been reclaiming, control over my life, which is what autonomy is. I think reclaiming control over my life and the situations I'm in, and I think that came at the right time for me. And she really does go deep into the subject on like, how can you have autonomy but like over your life, but also over community and things that are happening in community, and especially with the political state of the United States. It's really it was really inspiring. It gave me, a push, I guess, that I really needed to reclaim my life, which is how I ended up here. How I ended up filming this. And honestly, I don't plan to edit this video because I want speaking to the camera to be my muscle, and this is me developing that muscle. So yeah. Okay, so what else did I want to talk about? I wrote down book or show, but like, oh, I already talked about that, so I don't even know where that's going. So the next question I had for myself is like, what's the craziest thing I've ever done? And the answer was gonna be coming to the United States, but I'm realizing that wasn't the craziest thing I've ever done. That was like the safest thing I've ever done. Because like, well, it wasn't the safest, but like, I knew where I was going, and I knew that I was going to be in a place that I'd seen in media. So in a way, I knew it was going to be kind of different, but also kind of familiar. I feel like America does resemble South Africa in many ways. And so it was the safest thing for me. I was like, yeah, there's going to be black people who use a lot of black slang that I've watched so much in media that I understand. But then also, there is a lot of similarities in our histories as black people. So I was like, it'll be fine. And it's so funny because like, immediately as I got here, like I went on dates with a lot of black men, and I made friends with a lot of African American women. And yeah, I still keep that sentiment. Actually, this was coming here was a safe choice for me. I will say the craziest thing I've ever done is I enrolled in a surgical technology program, and I saw it through for like a few good years because I did my prerequisites, and then I enrolled in a program. And as I started in the program, a part of me was like really reluctant in it because I was like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I was like, yeah, I guess, it'll get better once I actually get to the OR, and I'll be busy and I won't pay attention to the fact that like my feet are hurting or it's like kind of boring. I'll be doing stuff, And when I finally got there, which was actually last week, I realized I really do not like it. Like I really don't like it. And so I quit after 3 days of being in clinicals. Well, there's more to it than that. It's not just because I didn't really care for it. There's more. I mean, also it's not that I didn't like it. It was boring. It was really boring. And so with the other reasons in there, I decided, you know what, maybe this is not for me. So after I invested all that money and time and got into debt, I'm in a lot of debt right now, but I'm also so happy that I did. I'm so happy because there was a lot of stakes and a lot of people around me who were not going to be happy, especially my parents, if I didn't see it through. And ultimately I chose myself this time around. I was like, let me make myself happy for once. So I did that, and I'm so grateful. But I will admit, yeah, that what an insane move, especially for me, because I'm like an extra careful kind of person. So yeah. And then the last question that I have for myself is like, what's my biggest fear? And my biggest fear, honestly, is having regret. Like, my biggest fear is like being old and then looking back at my life and being like, oh my God, I had so many dreams that I could have achieved. Like, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? Because I was scared that someone's gonna laugh at me. Which honestly, the sad part is it's still like that. I still get scared of doing a lot of things because of what other people will say, or like what other people would think, or how I would be perceived. I still am reluctant on doing a lot of things that I dream of doing, which is why the season of my life is very special to me, because I do feel that I'm at a place where I am reclaiming my power, and it might not be loud and bold, but I'm doing it. I'm going to do it slowly and in a gentle way that's not overwhelming to myself. And I do plan to see it through. And to me, I feel like this is the actual challenge, because this is actually what I want. And that's like one of the things I've always struggled with not really struggled with, but with everything that I've been doing, I have been doing it in a cowardly way, because all my achievements and all the hard things that I've done, I only did them because I knew I could do it. Like, you know, if it's something that I'm unsure of, I tend to hesitate, or I just don't do it at all. I wonder if I'm speaking loud enough, but I tend to hesitate or don't do it at all. Which is why, like, sometimes when people compliment me on the hard things I've done, it's like, it's not that I don't think that those things are worthy of the praise, but I do also feel like it wasn't really much of a challenge for me, you know. I find that when I do these things like studying surgical technology, I would be like so stressed out. But like, to tell the truth, I even knew it at that time, is that like I was stressed out because I waited, I procrastinated, and did I say that right? I procrastinated. Okay. I procrastinated just so I can have something sort of like to struggle with, because it wasn't really challenging intellectually, and so I would wait until last minute so it could be, you know, that like that hard thing, that grind, I guess. So I noticed I would do that. And then also, I feel like when I say that, a lot of people will be like, oh no, maybe you're just a procrastinator. And that's not true, because one of my favorite classes was like a microbiology class, and I never procrastinated for that. I never did, because I loved it so much, and I put so much time and so much care into it, that I never procrastinated. I had a paper I had to write, like at the final big project for the class was to write a research paper. And I remember writing that paper early. I had a plan for the paper. Like, each day you write one page. Each day you do this section. Each day you do this and this and this. And I remember it was due at like midnight or something, and I submitted it at like 8 p.m. and that was like final edits, like after like 2 edits, and it was, you know, making sure that everything is perfect. And I submitted it at 8 p.m. and I was really content with my work, and I really put in a lot of work. I did a lot of work, and I got a good grade for it. You know, it showed that I put in a lot of work, but that really showed me that like a lot of the things that I do, the reason why I cannot place them as accomplishments, it's because I did them because they were kind of easy to me. It feels cocky to admit this, but yeah. But anyway, that's it. I don't want to get too deep, but that's it. This is my get to know me, yada yada yada. But thank you to like the 5 people that are gonna watch this, or to anyone that watches this. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Please like my video, subscribe, comment. We can have a little chit chat session. I'd love that, because ultimately the goal for this YouTube channel is to create community and have conversations, which I oh so crave. So yeah, I'm about to go now and leave this park. Actually, maybe I'm gonna read a book and then go home and get lunch. But thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'm gonna be consistent this time, for real. But thank you. Bye.